quién comienza, con quién termina. Todos tenemos memorias, amores, amores, amores y desdicha. Cada marea, cada marea, cada marea. Todo pasa, sobrevive el que aguanta y el que lucha, aunque existo en la sombra, resisto en la memoria de una vida, yeah, 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 yeah. De una vida. Cada marea, cada luna aguanta los recuerdos amargos de una injusticia. Yeah, yeah. Emerjo entre espuma, efímera la bruma de un nuevo día. Cada marea, cada marea, cada un nuevo día. Cada
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our live stream. Rayo Caña Negra in the house. Well, two-thirds of Rayo Caña Negra, because the other third is doing what they do best, ushering new life. Literally ushering literally new life into this world. Otra Marea, right? Dula in, Evelyn, shout out to Evelyn. That video was beautiful.
Beautiful. I'm
Stunning.
I have a crush now.
Oh,
this is like love and resistance right now, and I'm like,
take a number.
I have a crush. Oh, take a number.
Get in line.
You know I'm a jealous person.
The thing is, I heard Cada Marea in the Miss Panama soundtrack. It came, and Mai-Elka did the music for Miss Panama, which Afro-Latino Fest is premiering, or rather streaming at 9 p.m. EST. And, you know, I just heard the song. This is the first time I'm seeing the video. And I was like, whoa, you know, it just grabs you. And then of course the video matched the beauty. It was stunning.
You know, I saw one of the first times I saw her. She was completely bald, right? And I saw her at one of the festivals, and I was like, "Wow, this woman is stunningly beautiful."
Right. And I was saying it's so weird to see Mai-Elka with hair because
I did not know she was a singer until this moment. So I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I have a crush right now."
Right.
It's strange in my body.
Speaking about love and resistance,
Exactly.
the love is in the air.
I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, something is going on. I need
to like, come on,
move out of the way for a second here. Not for a second.
Yeah, right. But you know what? That's the thing. You know, speaking about platonic love, I was thinking about that. You know, well, all the time, right? But I think it's especially special when you can express your love among your friends. And I think it's, you know, love is kind of this and not even resource, but this thing, this entity that the more you give, the more you get. It's like this unending entity that just continues renewing itself. And so we were talking earlier about what love and resistance means to us. And Genevieve, like, I wish we were recording it because it was really beautiful how you put it, how you articulated it, in that the work that you do, the work that I do, Afro Resistance, Rayo Caña Negra, Afro-Latino travel, Evelyn right now, doula-ing, that's an offering of love.
Absolutely.
And how you frame it as the workshops, the work that we do is just this ongoing work of love and this offering of love. And when you were talking, again, this is another theme, not a theme, but an ongoing entity of the humanization of Afro descendants. I mean, the Afro-Latino Fest is an offering of love in and of itself.
I think all the work that we do, that comes from a space of integrity, and you know, and I think there's a different level, and for me, you know, and I hope this doesn't come off to our readers. I'm also a writer, right? So I hope this doesn't come off to our listeners and our viewers. I used to do radio, so the listeners, that's it. A little bit standoffish, but the work that comes from like a real offering from the gut and the heart, to me, is an offering of love. What for me, you know, and it might be my age as well, and the trajectory that I've had in this work. For me, what gets a little bit confusing is when capital and money has gotten in between there, right? Because then it's like a lot of people get paid to do this work, so then that gets a little bit sticky. And I understand people have to make a living, so I'm not shading that at all. But then comes a little bit of the confusion. Are people doing it for the money? Are they doing it for the deep love that we have for Black people? Because I have a deep love for Black people, because people have showed me and showered me with that love where money wasn't an object, for my liberation, right? So I feel like people, individual and movement, invested trust and commitment and time and energy and effort into making them Genevieve, and not people that had to, right? So I'm not talking about family members, and mind you, family members didn't have to either, right? Some of them did, some of them didn't. Right. But people that, like, people at the markets, right? People that saw something in me, people at tienda, in las tiendas in Panama, people at the mercados, cevicherias, like people that saw something and like that would regañarme in a way, like, oye niña, pero ven acá, eso no se hace, uno no hace esas cosas, like you don't do that, don't answer like that, and not in a bad way that is like shaming, right? Because there's a lot of shame that comes into there's a lot of shame that people would transfer onto young people and children. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the real like investment. Like I see something in you and I'm going to invest in you. And I don't even know you. For me, that is love and resistance, right?
Yeah.
And then also love and resistance is me having my home people in Toronto, right? Because after the US invasion to Panama, I moved to Toronto and I found community with the people from the Caribbean. I'm talking Trinidad and Tobago,
Right.
I'm talking Guyana, I'm talking Jamaica. Those were my people, not the people from Latin America specifically, right? That didn't look like me,
Right.
that I didn't feel kinship with. And those people I cuddle with. And I'm talking about men and women. And when I talk cuddle, I mean like, oh, I feel really down. And we will actually literally physically cuddle. And there's nothing sexual about it. It's just I need a hug. Like I need an embrace, a hug, a wine. Like a literal wine. Right? Like, not wine like as in a drink.
No, I know.
Our listeners might not know. Because we might not all be kinship listening, right?
You need that chipping down the road.
You need that chipping down the road.
That's healing work.
Right? And there's nothing sexualized around that. It's just, this is what I need this moment because we're all resisting together. And you know, the Afro-Latino festival put like, there were some images that were put building up to the festival around, I can't remember what it said, but it's like, if you don't know about this, then you don't know about this. And I think it was like images of different fetes and of like parties. And it really resonated with me because I was like, that's right. If you don't know about this, then you don't know about this. And it was like people like, it wasn't like a drum circle because it wasn't a drum circle. It was like just people like coming together and sharing physical space. And if you don't know about that, then you don't know about that.
Right.
That to me is resistance.
Right.
You don't know about it, then you don't know about it. And we can't explain it.
Right.
Kinship.
Right. Is that fellowship, like completely. And it's funny that it's interesting about the money part, right? Because I think that capitalism has, because I think with the compensating folks, right? It's more so the reciprocity, you know, that, okay, you invested your time and your effort and your energy, and I want to give it back to you. Whereas within capitalism, it's a transaction. It's just, here's some money. And the thing is, I'll catch it. Like, I'll catch it. I'll catch those dollars. But at the same time, I was just talking to my partner, and he did a ceremony. He's a Babalao. And his godfather, when you do certain ceremonies, you have a derecho. You have to give your godparents something, like, for, you know, just an example, like a candle or a coconut or something like that, right? And so his godfather said, no, don't even worry about it. And my partner was like, no, here's your derecho, because you are going to be at the ceremony. You are overseeing it. You are making sure everything's in order. Here is your derecho, you know, and it's not as if for example, he doesn't need a coconut, but that's a traditional way of doing it, right? And so he's adhering to those traditions. He's adhering to that offering of love, essentially, because these are people, like you said, who are investing in you, who want to see you go on your path and achieve whatever it is that you need to achieve in this lifetime. And so I think that's extremely important, because really, you know, as much as people say it, we are all, what is it? We all we got. I'm a believer in that. Like, you know, I can't beat around the bush about that, you know, just for the various life events, generational events, we are all we got. And so that kinship aspect, the love, the constant love. And then there's this question that I wanted to ask, as your organization is called Afro Resistance, right? And the idea of resistance, and how people will say, you know, Black love is resistance. Black rest is resistant. You know, they categorize pretty much anything we do is resistance, which in essence, it kind of is. Our entire existence is resistance. But I often find myself saying, well, can I just be? Can I just live? Can I be a carefree hot girl summer hottie? Like, do I really have to buy into this resistance piece? Like, what does that resistance mean for your work in particular? Because you founded an organization called Afro Resistance, and you were very intentional with those words.
Absolutely. And I feel like just being Black is resisting, right? Just being alive and Black is an act of resistance. Just because they don't want us here. So just the fact that we are alive is an act of resistance. And I think we have to acknowledge that every single step of the way, right? So every single thing, from nourishing our bodies to being able to dance, to having eyesight and having eyeglasses, right? I used to work at a women's shelter before. And one of the things that struck me was the amount of women that didn't have teeth, Black women that were missing teeth. And in that missing teeth, they were missing smiles. And in missing smiles, they couldn't go to job interviews. I remember this one woman, she had a job interview lined up, and 2 days before her job interview, she lost a tooth. And she told me, hell no, I'm not going to that job interview. And she really needed that job. And there's no way I was going to talk her into going to that job interview, because I knew that I wouldn't go to the job interview without a tooth. So why would I even play with another Black woman going to a job interview without a tooth when I wouldn't go to job interview? So, like, just even thinking about something that I take for granted, like having teeth, right, is an act of resistance. So yes, so for me, the name was very intentional around we Afro resist, and I actually want it to be a verb. We're Afro resisting, and we use it in the organization as a verb. Afro resistencia, Afro resistiendo in Spanish, as an actual verb. So it's not a passive thing, right? So it's called Afro resistance, but we're Afro resisting as something that's constant. I'm a parent, and just in parenting and having children with high self-esteem, society doesn't want that. Right. I'm Afro resisting. I'm Afro resisting through my children. And I'm very clear that me Afro resisting through my children is not me Afro resisting, it's them Afro resisting, because I'm handing over the baton. My resisting through them is not really me. This is for them. They're going to have to Afro resist, because I'm Afro resisting for myself and doing it for them. But yeah, I think just the fact that we are alive, just the fact that there is a full festival, right? That I know it says NYC, but this festival is now throughout the Americas, and I know it has viewership throughout the world. So this festival is Afro resisting. Right. Festival is not just in resistance, right? This festival is Afro resisting and breaking boundaries. Right? That's what I want more of. We want more of that, right? The fact that within Afro resistance, we have somebody that used to be a domestic worker and now is about to be a lawyer. We are Afro resisting. She's Afro resisting, right? So, and there's a lot of story in between that, because her son was also murdered, and that should have never been, right? But she's Afro resisting for her son and other children and other women that have been impacted by state violence. So yes, I feel like even when we can take a nap, we're Afro resisting to nourish our bodies.
And I think it speaks. I love that you make it into you made it and you live it as a verb, because it's of particular experiences. It's of particular, because anyone can resist, right? Sure. That's a verb. You resist whatever, you fill in the blank. But when we're talking about Black folks, when we're talking about Afro descendants, it's of particular experiences and of particular histories that that we all share, right? That are of specific Afro descendants and the lives that we lead and the intersections that we walk and the things that we continuously confront. Because we were talking the other day with Evelyn, all three of us, and we were saying how we like having Black partners because we don't have to explain the joke. Like, we don't have to go into detail or context. I mean, I said that I sometimes do have to explain certain jokes to my partner because he's Cuban. And, you know, the US context, sometimes it needs some explanation, but it doesn't need a ton of explanation. He still understands what certain things are because he lives those experiences. It doesn't matter that it's happening in Cuba. It's similar experiences. And so I think that is the best part. If we're talking about love and joy, is the humor. And we share, I mean, that's what we do all day anyway. Like, we have our little WhatsApp thread, and that's all we do all day. You know, in addition to the work that we do, the laughter and the joy is so integral into our existences. And I think it calls in, you know, the parts of yourself that are that have the most light, you know, and it's something that you can share. And again, this is that laughter and joy is the entity, just as love is, that is renewable, that it's infinite, that it never ends. And so that's the part, love and resistance, you know, within that is the joy and the humor and the celebration. Because, you know, we're looking at the video, at Mai-Elka's video, Cada Marea, and I get chills, and it also fills me with joy because it's like, yes, bitch. Can we say the B word? Yes. But we do ordinary anyway. But
you already said it.
Like, yes, bitch. Like, yes, I know that's right. You know? And so the thing about it, it's like whenever we link up, that's what it is. And so we're doing workshop. We're doing a couple workshops coming up. And the workshops is when we really get to kiki, get to share, get to fellowship, while also doing this important work that we all continuously do daily. Our workshop In the Hype, an interactive workshop where we delve into media, Latina media.
Let's talk a little bit about what Caña Negra is, because Rayo Caña Negra is really a manifestation of love. Rayo Caña Negra is really how we came together, right? So because we fast forward a little bit about In the Hype, and that really is like, right? But I feel like Rayo Caña, and my daughter is here. My no, ese no. Llévate esto. Sorry, folks.
Speaking about love,
I'm here manifesting love with my daughter. Speaking about love in a small 8-year-old package. Taking advantage of my charger situation because she's not supposed to be using the iPad. I'm gonna love her up afterwards. So Rayo Caña Negra, you know, we came together. Is it 3 years now, Dash?
Yeah.
Is it? I think it might be close to 3 years. So Dash, Evelyn, and myself, we've known about each other for several years. We have flirted with each other from long distance. We've been long distance flirting with each other, right? We've known about each other. We've admired each other from afar, and finally, the stars aligned, and we came together. The three of us, because Dash and Evelyn had connected before in the kitchen, where Black women sometimes come together and make magic. We came together and made a magic in the kitchen over food and love. And we show each other love by taking care of each other and nourishing each other. And we decided, you know what? I don't want to say the F word, but there was some F-ery, right, happening within the Latina community. And we were just tired of it because we all been working in this for many, many years, collectively over at least over 30 years collectively. And peor mandado es el no hecho, right? I don't know how that translates into English. You all can figure it out. And we said, let's do this, right? And again, resisting, right? Offering love, because we came together like this. Within a day, we found a location. Somebody gifted it to us. We didn't have to pay for it. We were able to charge. People signed up. We sold out a workshop. All our workshops show up. People show up. All our workshops sell out. All our workshops hasn't been an issue, right? So we did an anti-oppression, anti-Blackness in the Latina community. It's been great. And during the pandemic, we started doing it. We do it for universities, for private businesses, for television stations, for et cetera, for festivals as well. Offering of love, right? And then we do it for Black groups, right? That want to expand their breadth of knowledge when working with multi-Black, multi-ethnic groups, right? So Black groups that hire African Americans, Black Latinos, Black Africans, right, from the continent, Black Asians, et cetera. They call us, we do these amazing workshops. Of course, who are our thorns? These people from Latin America. These, right? You see how it has no color? Right? From Latin America. Yeah. Because they, while we are Afro-resisting with our lives and being killed throughout the region, being kidnapped, being murdered, being raped, violated, in prison, the same issues that are impacting Black people throughout the world is happening in Latin America. White Latinos, their biggest concern is that they're being called white.
Right.
I don't understand. But they've been, they get called white in the region historically. That hasn't been an issue yet. Here in the United States, workshops. And the latest one that we're doing is we have to center Black excellence. Black excellence means that we have had Black actors that are from Latin America and the Caribbean historically, musicians, actors, everything else. We just saw an amazing video. Right. We just saw an amazing video. Look at the quality of the music.
Look at the range.
Look at this whole festival and the talent in this festival. Undeniable. Mm-hmm. This is what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And then you have a pichiculo that excludes people, and then they get a whole lot of attention. That's not an integrity, folks. Right. So we have this workshop that Dash was mentioning in the hype, because we don't understand what the hype is, and we don't want to say the name.
Right, and we shouldn't, because I think people will get it. And the thing is that every time any of these pieces of media, and I did a video on this, how certain people are disappointed, and I'm like, you have to expect something to be disappointed. The paper trail for the past 100, 200 years that we've had media, or broadcast media, 100 years, has been the same thing. So what advantage or benefit would it be for them to change anything now? Their success thrives on our erasure. Their success thrives on their theft of our intellectual property. And so as you were talking about, we center Blackness, we center Black excellence, we also center Black regularness, right? Because as we say, our existence is a miracle. Us being on this live broadcast is a miracle. And there were thousands of millions of people that had to conspire. You know, people talk about the universe. There's also human beings involved in that. That they came together so that we could be here talking to you. And so the thing with our workshops is that it's a statement that we are here. It's a statement of our, you know, and this gets kind of overused too, but I mean, it's real. This is a testament to our ancestors, and we have our friend and colleague and you know, co-facilitator Javier Wallace. He's also in the
PhD.
Yoruba PhD. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Wallace, el mismo profe. We were talking about this work because he does the Black Austin tours, and I think those tours are amazing. He talks about the history of Austin. He's a native Austinite, also Panamanian, and his family comes from a freedman's colony of Afro-descendants in Texas. And so he goes over the Black history, the Afro-descendant history of Austin, and, you know, by extension, Texas, right? And the entangled history of Texas and Texas and Mexico, right? And so I was saying, you know, I love your tours. It's so amazing that you're doing this work of, this is Egun, right? Egun is your muertos or your dead. The constant work, it's a constant obra. And he's like, we have to keep saying their names. We have to keep saying their names, you know? And he's like, the more we say their names, the more they open doors for us. And within that, the more that we're restoring humanity for the people that came before us. Because, you know, oftentimes people don't even know the majority of Afro-descendants' names, just the name, you know, and your name is your testament to your existence, right? And I was thinking about this today, how in various cultures, you know, like in Yoruba, like you have one name and it means a whole sentence. You know what I'm saying? Like it means a whole thing, you know, and people take time to think about how you're going to name your child, how you're going to name your family members. And the first thing that these colonizers did was take away our names. You know, we're talking about surnames. Who has a Hispanophone surname? That is not your name, you know? And so what's in a name, right? And what's in a name is love and resistance, going back to what we're talking about. And so when we talk about media, not only are they erasing our name, they're tarnishing our names. And so I think with our work, we're making a collective statement, and we're saying no. No, this is what we say. And so the workshop is Wednesday, July 14th, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. EST, 3 hours. We did a little short summer, hot girl summer session because our workshops are usually 4 hours. And so we're going to delve into the anti-Blackness of Latina media. And before that, we also have our summer school, our Afro-Latinx summer school, Verano Negro, and it's 4 sessions with teaching alongside Javier, Dr. Wallace, over 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday. That'll be July 6th and 7th, and July 13th and 15th. So you could just take both of them, or, you know, all of them, all of the workshops, get your life in 2 weeks. Like this is express kind of, but it's the thing is, it's a starting point for a lot of folks. And if they have us as a starting point, you're doing pretty good. If I do say so myself, I think, you know, all the people that I work with, Genevieve, Evelyn, Javier, are brilliant. And I feel very fortunate to be working with you, and folks who are in your presence, who are able to workshop with you. I genuinely feel that they're also lucky as well. You know, as we're saying, this is an offering of our energy, our efforts, our intellectual property, because we don't take this lightly. This, I mean, you know, obviously, like our workshops are fun, like they are, and that's the comments that we get all the time. But that's just our personalities. But you know, we're in this. This is us, right? Because we're not talking about history or some distant past. We're talking about the now. History is now. We make history now, you know? So please come through. I see Flor, speaking of brilliant people, I see Flor in the chat, Flor Montero, Mountain Flower, who also does Flower of the
And
Mountain.
we see Evelyn. Evelyn is in. She's trying to get in.
Oh,
So
Evelyn,
thank you for
great
the tech support. Thank you for the tech support for getting Evelyn in soon, please.
Which actually, I feel lucky Evelyn is coming through because she's ushering in new life, as we said. Like Evelyn is,
Yes.
well, all of us are doulas. Evelyn's the OG doula. Like she's the OG doula, and so for her to take time away from literally ushering, like bringing life onto this planet, I feel very lucky. Hey, shout out to Oliver Prince.
Yes, I was just gonna say shout out to Oliver Prince. If anybody has any questions for us, please let us know. We can address them here. We also do lives every so often on Facebook Live. Please let us know if there are any topics that you would like covered. I have a print. It's called a column. But I don't answer them written. I answer them live, and I can't remember the name of the column now. Genevieve answers. Who knows? But I answer. I do answer questions. I take the lead, but we do answer them collectively.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, because we're on the same wavelength, and I think that's such a.
Or maybe I froze. I'm not sure.
Oh man, I'm frozen. Because I
think now you're unfrozen.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So you're unfrozen now. Perfect.
Right.
So July 14th, you can get more information on our Facebook page. Radio Caña Negra is our Facebook page. Our Instagram is Radio Caña Negra, so you can just look us up as well. Make sure you share it widely. That would be great. The more people take this, the less issues all Black people from Latin America and the United States face.
Right, and that's what I was.
People want to make a change.
Right, that's what I was going to say before I got frozen. Is that the collective work, right, and how it's so important to have folks who are on the same wavelength as you, the where someone can ask a question, and obviously, like for example, if someone says, "Oh, would Genevieve like this?" I can say, "Actually, no, she would not like that," or "Actually, yes, that would be very pleasant and nice for her." Right? I think that's extremely important. And what you said about, the collective, like right? Huh?
How you said that will be pleasant and nice for her. I like pleasant and nice.
Yes, right. We all deserve some pleasant and nice and luxury. And in just acknowledging that,
I like
when we're talking about
nice.
Pleasant and all things pleasant and nice.
Oh, Dash, you keep on
oh man,
going in and out. Sorry.
Is that me?
All right, so
is it me?
So we are officially having a little bit of technical difficulty. I don't know who it is. Can somebody put in the chat, please, who exactly is having technical difficulty? And we will address that immediately. Who is glitching and who is freezing? But we would like to address it so you get a good experience.
Am I still
thank
frozen?
Thank you very much, Oliver Prince Jr. Blessings. Yes, but who is it both of us that's choppy, or is it one of us that's choppy? If you could please let us know who is choppy, that would be great. No, I don't understand. No,
both.
It's both.
It's both.
Okay, thank you, Manisha.
I know.
Hey!
Yeah, and la repartera is here.
What's up? Coming to you live and direct from the hospital bathroom. Shout out to my client who was like, "Go do your thing,
It's a little bit low, Evelyn.
Huh? I
It's
can't
a little
hear
bit
you.
low.
Oh,
Mhm.
is this better?
Yeah, like put it close
I
to
think
you,
so.
I think.
Okay, here we go. I'm putting the volume up.
Uh-huh.
Is that better?
Yes, actually it is.
Yay! Oh, you know
Thank
what?
you so much for making the time, Evelyn.
I know anything for my homies and to talk about love and resistance. Hello.
Right. Wait, so is the baby coming? Is the baby here?
No, not yet. She's not here, but she will be here hopefully at some point.
Right. That's the goal, right?
We got patience for this, right? We got patience for it. She comes when she's ready and not a moment before.
Right. That was it reminds me of when my mom was pregnant with me
Uh-huh.
and I had a specific due date. And so my mom, she was really young when she had me. So when I didn't come on the due date, my mother was like, "Will she ever come?" You know, like it's like obviously yes.
Yep.
But she was like,
Listen, especially those first timers, like it takes a long time. So, like with my son, I was pregnant almost 43 weeks, according to, but maybe the dates are also like an estimate. So,
it still sounds low. I guess you just have to put it close to you.
okay, this close, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit better. But life be life, and like you always say, life be life.
Life on a life.
Yeah, that's better. It sounds louder on my end.
Okay.
So I was looking at the chat and I see Oliver saying blessings Afro-Latina queens.
Hey.
And I was like, don't call me that. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. But I remember you did a live with Tanya, and Tanya Fields. And Tanya asked you, she's like, what do I call you? Latina? And you were like, Black.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, Black person that speaks Spanish.
That's what I say all the time, that I am a Black person who happens to be Latina, not a Latina that happens to be Black. So I take that very seriously. Afro means Black. You know what I mean? Afro means Black. If you can't say you Black, you shouldn't say Afro. You know the drill. So I'm like, period, poo, period.
So since we did get you, we were talking about what our feelings and thoughts on love and resistance, and specifically Afro resistance, because we were talking about Janviev's organization, Afro Resistance, and how Janviev says Afro resist is a verb.
Yeah. It is an action. It is to resist and be, because it's no, I don't want to say that, right? Because I don't want to perpetuate the stereotype or the belief that it is difficult to be Black. It is magical to be Black. It is challenging to fight the people that don't like us being Black, which is not our issue, right? So like, I'm trying to be careful with the language that I use for the purposes of not perpetuating like, oh, it's so hard. It's like, being Black is bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Being Black in a world where other people are hating ass haters and don't want you to be Black is hard. There's a difference.
Right.
So I want to be very clear on that. But I mean, yeah, it's like to Afro resist, to be yourself in a world that is increasingly wanting to put you in like this narrow box of how you should be or how you should show up in the world is challenging. But being who you are is beautiful. Finding your space is beautiful. Finding like-minded people is really powerful and beautiful and transformative and transformational and all those amazing things. And so as Black people, I often hope that we get to find our spaces, that we get to find the right spaces that make us feel whole and complete as is, right? Not with the right, whatever, but just like as you are. As Tanya said, right, going back to that, where I said, one of the most impactful things of that particular live was that at some point I said somebody deserves something, and she said, no, you're worth it, right? And so again, language mattering, it's like really recognizing that Black people are worth all of the amazing, powerful, beautiful things in life, and that you don't have to earn anything. You already got it. It's yours.
Right. And what y'all said, and we said it in our workshops, that we believe Black folks are worth fighting for.
Yeah. And I mean, and I hate the fact that we do have to fight for us, right? Like, I wish that we were in a position where we would also be able to just live, right? The exhaust part doesn't come with being black; it comes with fighting to be black. And so that's the harm. Like, and we have to be also very careful of not perpetuating the very same harm, because sometimes the oppressed can become the oppressor, and that can be really difficult.
Right. And Manisha says, Black person that happens to be Latina or speak Spanish. I love that.
Yeah. That's just, I mean, because I'm Black, like Anjali says all the time, we say all the time that Anjali says, I'm Black on all borders, right? You say that all the time too, right?
Yeah,
so
Anjali says, been Black crew or BBC,
right.
but she's like, BBC can mean something else in other contexts, but it means been Black crew.
Let's be clear that I like that too, though. So let's just also be clear. Shout out to everybody that like that too. I mean, it's early for that kind of commentary, but I'm just saying, I'm a human, I'm a doula, so I mean,
right,
all of that makes it work.
Well, I mean, that made you. That's the whole market for doulaism, right?
I'm saying, if a doula is not sex positive, are you really doulaing?
Right.
Like, so, but yeah, it's like, I'm like,
exactly.
I joke all the time, and we've joked before where I say that when I go someplace and I know that there's Black people, my immediate thing is like, take me to the fried fish. I know that's where I'll find my people.
The rice.
Depending on, right, with peas and rice, and if it got coconut, extra, right? That's like, I want all of that. Like I want my bammy. I want everybody make some sort of bake. Have you noticed that? Some sort of like bake version of bakes. Shout out in the chat if y'all people, wherever you from, eats a version of like bake, some sort of fried dough.
Fried dough.
Yeah.
And literally in some places it's called fried dough.
Yeah.
Oliver asks, is there a website or social media to sign up for the workshops? Yes. Radio. Wait, what is it in English? Radio Caña Negra.
Right? Can you write it in the chat?
Yeah, let me write it in the.
Yeah.
Can I?
I'm gonna head out because I don't want to take up too much time with my homies. But I wanted to just stop by and say hi, hey, looking forward to seeing all of y'all at the workshop. Go forth and twerk.
Go forth and BBC.
Go forth and BBC. Go forth and twerk. Go forth and eat fried dough, fried bake. Go forth and be Black and amazing as you are. Juices, y'all.
Thank you for coming. Spreading that love and joy.
Thank you.
That was pleasant and nice.
Oh, thank you.
More pleasantries and nicer trees, and niceties.
So, there have been questions in the chat regarding the workshop? Yes. Now it seems that my internet is not working. Maybe
you just need to move.
Who knows?
Your laptop? No.
Yeah, but my internet is. I can move.
Yeah, we can pivot. That's what we always been doing. Yeah, so Oliver Prince Jr., yes, we are Radio Caña Negra on all the social medias, on the Facebook, on the Twitter, on the Instagram, in English, Radio Caña Negra. Okay, we can hear you fine. Okay, maybe it's me. I mean, I'm joining y'all from Panama, so I don't be knowing if it's my Wi-Fi. Cable Onda is now Tigo because it's contigo. That be messing up. I guess they got bought out with the pandemic. A lot of businesses went under, and so my Wi-Fi be acting up and acting out. And I'm like, I know I paid this bill. Why am I getting choppy service? So I don't know. It's a toss up.
Yeah, I just understand. I don't understand what's going on. I'm in the Bronx. That doesn't mean anything though. It means that sometimes it's worse than in other areas.
Right.
So it is what it is.
So we are
the technology wasn't created for us anyways.
Say it again. Oh no.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. It's choppy. It's just going in and out, back and forth. That's okay. We'll live. And for more of us,
technology that wasn't created for us.
right,
It was created to control us.
right.
So let's keep that in mind.
And for more of
the
us,
fact
sign up for
that
the
we
workshop.
are using technology for this festival as
Oh no.
yes. So I hope it started offline.
Oh no. You're offline? Am I offline?
All right. So if anybody has any other hello?
I can hear you. It's just choppy, but that's okay. That's okay. We at least got in a good 45, 50 minutes, and we're gonna close anyway. The thing is though, y'all need to stick around for the next hour of the Afro-Latino Fest. And well, actually the next couple hours, because as we mentioned, 9 p.m. EST, you have Miss Panama streaming. Miss Panama is about someone that
they say that when they can see us, they can hear us fine. All right, so we just went going. All right, perfect. And it's happening on my side, not on his side. All right. So let's keep on going, Dash. It's happening on my side, not on your side.
Okay. Okay.
So you should take the lead on talking.
Okay, I was saying how Miss Panama is about someone that we know. Miss Panama was produced by our friend Lamar, Bailey Caramanites, also Pascal Busica, David Sutcliffe, and Rashid Zakat, who was the cinematographer on this film. And this film is about Lamar's mother. And so Lamar como el mar, decided to do this love letter to her mom, where Miss Gloria Caramanites was Miss Panama in 1980, and she was the first Miss Panama that was No, let me be clear. The first Miss Panama that was Black, because we can say Afro-descendant, and people have made it to mean everything except Black. But Miss Gloria Caramanites was the first Miss Panama that was unambiguously Negra and beautiful, Negra and talented, and the rest. And so this short talks about that journey. And within it, Miss Gloria talks about the love and resistance that she had in the competition and being an activist in Panama as well, because the film talks about the beauty pageant. But she also talks about the activism that she has been involved in and continues to be involved in. And I remember one specific line of the many lines in the film where she says that her biggest mission is for Black children to be able to put their 2 feet down and be like, bueno, soy negro, soy negra, ¿y qué? I'm Black and what? And so that is also something that Yvette Modestin, who is another Black Panameña, who says the same thing, that we want for us to be able to put our 2 feet down and nobody can shake it. And that's what love and resistance means to me. And this is another message. This is the same message that my mom says. Okay, so I'll close this out. But I was saying how the message of being able to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. This is something that my mother often said to me. And I use it till this day, obviously. And so please do not miss Miss Panama or Miss Panama, because it's a beautiful love story, a love letter to all the mamas out there. And also Mai-Elka has her music in the soundtrack of the film. So that's also another aspect of love and resistance. So thank y'all for joining us. Thank you, Oliver. Shout out to Oliver. Shout out again to Flor and always supporting, and we need that support. And yes, Gloria, not past tense. Gloria is still a trendsetter and a pioneer, and we love her. Manisha says, I was talking to my mom about the Black TikTok strike and told her I love being Black because we fight for ours. True. She was like, and Spanish too. I don't know what Spanish is. We don't know her. But and so Manisha says, we Black first. Absolutely. Because Spanish is a language, and it's a nationality. And so none of my peoples are from Spain. So I don't know what that means. I'm Afro descendant, I'm Black, and that's what it is. That's what it is. And so thank y'all for joining. Thank you for your comments. Again, our workshops will launch in a week. The first workshop being Tuesday, July 6th, July 6th and 7th, July 13th, 14th, and 15th. And that is Radio Caña Negra, Anti-Blackness in Latina Media, and also Verano Negro, which is Black Summer, and it's Black Latin American history and contemporary topics with Dr. Javier Wallace, myself and Dr. Javier Wallace, and we go over the history of mestizaje myths, Latin lies, Mexico and Texas history, 1800s and contemporary. And the thing that I love about these classes and workshops is that we talk about the Black history within the region that a lot of folks don't know about. There are tons of folks that do, and there are tons of folks that don't. Like, for example, I say this all the time, Latin America owes its independence, its emancipation from Spain to Afro-descendants, period. It was Afro-descendants who made up the Liberation Army. We don't acknowledge that other guy, the Bolivar guy. We don't know him. And we also center that Haiti has been the blueprint. And so, so join us for that. Those classes are a lot of fun. And shout out the Proyecto Afro-Latino, Amilcar, Mai-Elka, Carlito, and all of the organizers for this festival. Keep going. We're in the 9th edition, and 9th is actually a sacred number. That's Oya's number. And so thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Ev, for coming through while you're doulaing. And shout out to Genevieve, who is celebrating 10 years of her matrimony with her partner, speaking of love. And so thank you, Oliver. This knowledge needs to be spread and propagated. That's our goal. And you can help us, share far and wide to your enemies, your friends, your family, your kin, your frenemies. Share it far and wide, and let's keep it going. Es pa'lante, siempre pa'lante. So here we go. And I am out. Thank y'all.
What's up? This is Ro James. Shout out to the Afro-Latino Festival for having me. And shout out to everybody figuring out love and the resistance. Peace and love. Let's get it. Yeah. In my brain, I told myself I was through loving you. Find myself crawling right back to you. You hurt me so good, that's why I can't leave. It got me so weak like I need you. Maybe I'm addicted to the pain. No one can love me like you. Believe me when I say, baby, believe me, it's true. If you don't want me, it's cool. I just wanted you to know, baby, that everything I do is all for you. Everything's about you. Oh, baby, baby. Everything's about you. Everything's about you. Everything's about you. Oh, everything's about you. Everything, yeah. I smell something about you, baby. The sun, the moon, the stars, and I looking down at God, and you ride me. Every time I tried to love, never meant nothing without you, baby. Had enough, don't wanna go another second, another minute without you, baby. Oh, say it. Everything's about you. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Oh, everything's about you. Everything, yeah. Everything's about you. Oh, baby, oh. Everything's about you. Everything's about you. Oh, baby. Everything's about you. Everything. Mm-hmm. Rest my head at your feet. Heaven knows what you mean to me. I never hurt you, let them down for me, babe. Honey whiskey in my tea, craving your touch in between my sheets. I need you, don't keep me waiting, babe. Girl, put on your lace, 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 baby blue panties, babe. Lace, 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 baby blue panties. Lace, 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 baby blue panties, baby, yeah. Oh, put on your lace, oh. Without you, I feel incomplete. Faded, come get the best of me. I never hurt you, let them down for me, baby. Honey whiskey in my tea, craving your touch in between my sheets. I need you, don't keep me waiting, babe. Put on your lace, 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 baby blue panties, baby. Oh, put on your lace, baby blue. Lace, 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 baby blue panties. Oh, put on your lace, 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 baby blue for me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, baby, see your face when I close my eyes. When you're away, I write stories about you in my mind. 'Cause this love is one of a kind. All day I dream about sex and you, baby. All day I dream about sex and you. When your lips touch mine, it only confirm what I already know, babe. See, one time I tried to love, but I had my heart broken. But you changed my mind all day. I dream about sex and you. All day I dream about sex and you. See the way you made me feel, I just can't describe. Oh, I just can't deny it, baby. And I know that you want it, don't know why you're fighting it. All day I dream about sex and you. All day I dream about sex and you, baby. All day, all day, all day. All day I dream about you, 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 you. Me and you, baby, baby. Yeah. With your permission, I just wanna spend a little time with you. With your permission, tonight I wanna be a little me on you. Oh yeah, yeah, babe. With your permission, I wanna spend the night sipping on you. You know what I'm talking about, baby, yeah. Oh. See, now it's time for you to show me what it's hitting for. Sip a little Jack, maybe blow a little drop. Say love you from behind, the way to see you go, baby. See, come on, give me that green light, so you can let your hair hang down, but only if it feels right. See, come on, give me that green light. Said I need you, so give me that green light. With your permission, I just wanna put a little smile on you. With your permission, I'll let him get love in this way past her. I owe you, baby. With your permission, I'll spend a night sipping on you. You know what I'm talking about, baby. See, now it's time for you to show me what it's hitting for. Sip a little Jack, maybe blow a little draw. See, love you from behind, but I hate to see you go. See, come on, give me that green light, so you can let your hair hang down, but only if it feels right. See, come on, give me that green light. Said I need you, so give give me that green light. Oh, yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Give it to me like you don't want me to. Forget it, baby. I can feel it. Can you feel it? Give it to me like you don't never want me. Forget it, baby. Ain't no pressure. It's all on you. And there's a tension between us two. Real like special. Ooh, girl, you special. You a blessing. So give me the green light. Don't you say no. Baby, I can't stop, I won't stop until you say so. Baby, give me that green light, don't you say no. Oh, baby, I can't stop, I won't stop until you say so. Ooh. Come on, give me that. Baby, give me that, oh yeah, yeah. Come on, give me that. Oh, it's a green light. Baby, only if it feels right. Yeah.
Welcome to the Afro-Latino Festival of New York. In our 9th edition, it is our pleasure to present to you, directly from Panama, Italian Somali.
Wicked. Wicked, el puto West Coast. Festival Afro-Latino en Nueva York. Wicked. Loco fefo, frío, prende. Que no huele, que no huele. Ahí está la poca, pa' que. ¿Qué? Loco fefo, frío, prende. Que no huele, que no huele. Ahí está la poca, pa' que. Pa' que, pa' que, pa' que. ¿Qué? Pa' encima. Pa' los ojos rojos, piscina. Sin encima, vecina. Pero qué buena está la vecina. ¿Cómo dice? ¿Qué? El wicker man. El wicker man. El wicker. Aló, ¿cómo dice? ¿Y Somali? Cinta. ¿Qué? Wicked. ¿Cómo dice? Arriba. ¿Qué? Cinta no. ¿Qué? Si andamos caro y todo, compramos de todo, gastamos un montón. Wicked, loco fefo, frío, prende. Que no huele, que no huele. Ahí está la paca, pa' que tú, loco fefo, frío, prende. Que no huele, que no huele. Ahí está la paca, pa' que. ¿Cómo es tu boqui? Y la mano de porce, que. Dos calas, tres calas, tú calas. Vamos a desbaratarla y te la Somali. Loco fefo, dime que sé. Felela. No quiere nieve. Un esto relevo no la huele. Coro. Ey, loco fefo, frío, prende. Que no huele, que no huele. Ahí está la paca, pa' que tú. Loco fefo, frío, prende. Que no huele, que no. Ahí está la paca. Dígame. ¿Qué? El wicker man. El wicker man. El wicker. Wicked. ¿Estamos activos aquí? ¿Sí o no? Estamos en el Festival Afro-Latino de Nueva York. ¿Sí o no? Mano arriba, sube la mano, que esto es sin relajo, sin miedo. ¿Tú tienes más ritmo? Por ahí? ¿Qué tú tienes? Manda. Aló. Mira este tema. Yo se lo dedico a todas esas chicas que están en Nueva York, en la City, que la están viviendo, que están bien bonitas, pero están un poquito punchy, ¿oíste? Tiene un no sé qué. Ella tiene un no. ella. Porque ella tiene un no sé qué. Wicked. Bien bonita pero está ponche. Ella está bien ponche. Usa Fendi pero está ponche. Tú, ella está bien ponche. Dile a tu novio que no monte peli. Si quiere bronca que me marque el cele. Que me marque el cele. Dale. Mami, el wicked, te alocate, ay no. ¿Qué? Métele ritmo a tu casa, dale, súbele. ¿Qué? Dale por lo que ella va a tapar al ritmo del bow, afrobeat lo que sea ella, ¿qué? Ella va a chocar, mano en la cabeza y la otra en la cintura, mami, original danza queen booty time. ¿Cómo dice el coro, mami? Bien bonita pero estás ponche. Ay, ella está bien ponche. Usa Fendi pero está ponche. Ella está bien ponche. Dile a tu novio que no monte pele. Si quiere bronca que me marque el celi. Graba el flow aquí. Suavecito, dale, mami. El meneo, wicked, te alocate, ay no, hasta el piso, mami. Ay, oye, no ha acabado. Oye, ¿cómo le digo? ¿Qué? Loca porque yo la someta, en la cama, pra. Ella arriba, allá, pla. Ella no se va a dejar. No que no, sí que sí no se va a dejar. Loca, ta. Pa' que ruta, si tú estás rodeada del high grade mental, que se prendan los blones. Tú y yo tenemos dones, docu, quitándose pantalones, gozo drink, mami, llegaron los drones. Tengo posiciones pa' calmar tu... ¿Cómo dice? ¿Qué? Está ponchi, bien ponchi, piquetito bien bonita, está la misma same shit. Ay, ¿cómo dice el coro? Mami, ¿qué? Bien bonita pero está ponchi. Ella está bien ponche. Usa Fendi pero estás ponche. Mami, ella está bien ponche. Dile tú, que no monte peli. Que quiere bronca que me marque el celi. Los Somali, ritmo. Métele el ritmo ahí. Ta, tú. Métele más ritmo. Nueva York, ¿está gozando? ¿Sí o no? Esto es el Festival Afro-Latino. Plaza Negra, Wicked. Seguimos aquí activos. ¿Oíste? Seguimos activos. ¿Quieres más ritmo? ¿Quieres más de esta cultura? ¿Quieres escuchar más? Manda. Chocoso soné. Ay, dale un dos toque, siente el choque. Pa' que te dé boca y dale un dos toque. No te aloques, que si tú estás loca yo estoy a los foques. Ay, la guioncita está buena. Un cool que parece que entrena. Activa, ya no sufre de pena. Bien bonita pero linda la nena. La guialcita está buena, que parece que entrena. Activa, ya no sufre de pena. El puto West Coast. Mami, ¿cómo tú estás? ¿Qué? La guialcita está buena. La guialcita está buena. Si tú quieres bomba y plena. Está buena. Que chumerri pa' buena. Cambia ritmo. Guillao, no sé qué tiene, pero guillao. Ando lo fío, pero guillao. No sé qué tiene, pero se la tiro. quien dañó su mente y ella te dirá que el Soma calmi. Tengo la que se toma donde tú te pones loca, callarte Troya como Roma calmi. Ay, no, tiene mucho material. Oíste, pero se la voy a tirar, fírmala que en su cara va, Ey, entre más tóxica fluiste, me volví más delincuente. Pasos tienen que matar, no tienen que venir de frente con la ruquera en la mano. La cara de inocente gritándome todo lo que pasaba por tu mente. Y es que empatía que me lo... Ay, suavecito, estamos calentando. Estás en el sillón, Anetute, levántate. Échate agua, está caliente, échate agua que lo que viene es más ritmo. Oíste, yo tengo un tema que para la gente que no te dice de que, hey, toma, ahí hay un yapi. Viene el festival, aquí con un yapi para que te compres una ropa, te pongas algo bonito, te pongas guapo. ¿Tú me entiendes? Nada más te llama para estar molestando. No hay desarrollo, no hay nada, pero él le saqué algo. Manda. Ahí está llamando, no sé pa' qué. Está sofocando. Ahí está llamando, no sé pa' qué, si está jodiendo. Está sofocando, no sé pa' qué, si está llamando. Mami, que no anda en nada, no das nada, no anda en nada, no das nada, que digo que tengo que pedir permiso, plato en bandera donde quiera que. Ahora no piense que todo es guerra. Bueno, como tú quieras. Mami, y si me pierdo, no la va a entender, no la va a entender. Me le di a la fuga, no la va a entender. Este es el corito que me gusta. No hace ni déjase, déjame resolver, no hace ni déjase, ¿cómo dice? Ahí está llamando, ¿qué? No sé pa' qué, ya se molesta, loco. Está sofocando, no sé pa' qué tú me estás llamando, mami, ¿qué? No anda en nada, no das nada, no da nada, la misma same shit, no da nada, no te da progresar ni nada. Que digo que tengo que pedir permiso, plato en bandera donde quiera que piso. Ahora no piense que wicked, mami. ¿Qué más sigue? Oh. Este tema, oye, este tema, nada más lo hice con una frase. Todavía no lo suelte. Este tema nada más lo hice con una frase. No sé si es verdad. Dicen que mujer blanca, perdición del negro, ¿sí o no? Dicen así. Bueno, yo le saqué eso. ¿Tú le tienes? Ahora sí. Sonando bastante. Pero como se dice, tiene que sudar la camiseta para que... ¿Tú me entiendes? Hay que sudar la camiseta. Ahora sí. Wicked. Ese culito que me mata yo. Ya. Estoy que me la juego por ti en el barrio Foco. Mami. Cuando te veo me dan ganas de hacerlo, coge no. Mujer blanca siempre perdición del negro. Ya tú me gusta bastante. A ti te gustan los diamantes. Como dice el yo te gustan maleantes. Y yo estoy que me sumo algo grande, porque te gusta más. A ti te gustan los diamantes. Como dice el yo te gustan maleantes. Y yo estoy que me sumo algo grande. Un pasito. Mami, el wiki wiki 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 mami. Let's go. Qué cosa, qué linda entra, mami tú. ¿Por que tú tienes flow, peco. Qué linda entra, pero babu, mami. Oye lo que le marcó el Soma. Grave. Qué carajo, si tienes gusto caro. Qué rico, mami, tú arriba y yo abajo. Con cadera en el carro, ritmo. Shh. Mami, qué relajo. Quiero un besito en la boca. De eso que siento que la ropa estorba. Ya loca me provoca. Ya loca me provoca. Ese culito que me mata yo. Soy que me la juego por ti en el barrio poco. Cuando te veo me dan ganas de hacerlo, coge no. Mujer blanca siempre perdición del negro. Ya tú me gusta bastante. A ti te gustan los diamantes. Como dice ya yo te gustan maleantes. Y yo estoy que me sumo algo. A ti te gusta ¿qué? Porque te gustan los maleantes, como dice el yayo. Y yo estoy que me... Mami, el wiki 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 mami. Festival Afro-Latino en Nueva York. Seguimos. No vamos a parar. Seguimos. ¿Seguimos qué? Seguimos. Talenta activa. Talenta activa. ¿Sí o no? Seguimos. Wicked. Italian Somali en la casa. El puto West Coast. De Somali, estamos activos, ¿eh? La gente quiere más ritmo, más plena, ¿sí o no? ¿A dónde estamos? Estamos en el Festival Afro-Latino de Nueva York. Queremos darle gracias que no estamos en buenos momentos. Venimos de pandemia, muchas cosas, pero tenemos que darle gracias a Dios, ¿sí o no? Estás en tu casa, donde tú estés, levanta la mano, dale gracias a Dios. Estamos aquí en el festival, que estamos con vida. Y que hay más música, ¿sí o no? Wicked, ¿estamos listos? ¿Sí o no? ¿Estás activo en tu casa? Levántate, porque lo que viene es serio. ¡Manda! Hey, fuck. Chico, activan el West Coast, Costa Oeste controlando el game. La P mejor no jueguen con su fuck. Bad boy de la vida, chacala for life. Ey, menores que matan, no corren por correr, ya son balas de AK. Te muero, tú mata, te muero, tú mata, ey. Menores que matan, no corren por correr, ya son balas de te muero, tú mata. ¿Tú quieres más ritmo? Tú tienes más ritmo, tú sabes lo que hay ahí. Dice My Name in Panama es el Diablos Rojo. ¿Tú te acuerdas cuando tú te montabas en el Diablo Rojo? Que tú ibas para la parada y te decían que los puestos de la izquierda son de 3. ¿Tú te acuerdas? ¿Sí o no? ¿Tú te acuerdas? So que ahora levántate de nuevo. Como si tú vas en el Diablo Rojo, te agarras del tubo que había ahí y tú ahí que... Porque ahora lo que viene es champaña. ¿Tú la tienes activada? ¿Tú la tienes activada? ¡Manda! Actívate, que no va activación. No va activación. ¿Oíste? El puto West Coast. Cuando es así, lo que me mata es tu actitud, producto del que te es a mí. Con calma, ¿oíste? ¿Oíste? Levanta la champaña, lo que tú tengas, en el festival Afro-Latino en Nueva York, lo que tú tengas, levántalo. ¿Oíste? Puto West Coast. Ahora sí. Porque ahora me acompaña la champaña, encapsulando la pista se me empaña. Que cuando el rulo prendo y fumo, Tu silueta la dibujo con él. Cuando es así, lo que me mata es tu actitud. Producto del gueto es San Miguel de Santa Cruz. Estoy claro contigo que la cama es magnitud. Tú prendes los leaf, tú prendes los blues. Rica, morena, pero qué buena estás tú, me encantas tú. Ninguna como tú, tiene un flow y web como el de Polito Blue. Y yo fumando una hierba que parte como gum. Esperando que la noche caiga y la hierba quema que quema. Yo me monto en esta vaina, puro flow, tiempo en Jerusalén más. Pa' que tú vuelvas, pa' que tú vuelvas, nena. Pa' que tú vuelvas, pa' que tú. Esperando que la noche caiga y la hierba quema que quema. Yo me monto en esta vaina, puro flow, tiempo en Jerusalén más. Pa' que tú vuelvas, nena. Pa' que tú. Oye, ¿tú quieres motivación? ¿Tú quieres motivación? Estás en tu casa. Mira, te vas a agachar así, vas a subir la mano derecha. Si tú eres tu Merry, de la yeya, de la que se ven bien, sube la mano. Si tú eres Chumerri y tú estás lista, sube la mano y muévela así, Hey. La 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 la. Mami, que tú estás buena pa' qué. Pa' hacerte un bebo y montarte como un terry. Échale agua que se quema la chumerri. 20 ratonas pero linda la baby. Pa' el enemigo hay blue. Préndele la moto, patillita pa'l coco. Activado, tú sabes que poco. Fue puta y otro feeling de esa pela. ¿Qué? Y si la mami, ¿qué? La pela. ¿Qué? Tú. Y si la. De nuevo. Que tú estás buena pa' qué. Pa' hacerte un bebo y montarte como un terry. Échale agua que se quema la chumerri. 20 ratona pero linda la baby. Pa' el enemigo, préndele la moto, patillita pa'l coco. Activado, tú sabes que. Oye. Broco brillo a todo lo que tocó. ¿Qué pasa que no huele a humo tampoco? Falla, ponte pa' acá poco. Loco brillo a todo lo que tocó. ¿Qué pasa que no huele a humo tampoco? Falla, ponte pa' acá. Ahora tiempo de salsa. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Bueno, pasé tú. Dale agua. Me dan. Palene. Tiempo de salsa. Así ve. Sube la mano, así ve. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Cambiamos con estos ritmos. Cambiamos. Que tú estás buena pa' qué. Pa' hacerte un bebo y montarte como un terry. Échale agua que se quema la chumerri. 20 ratona pero linda la baby. Pa' el enemigo, préndele la moto, patillita pa'l coco. Activado, tú sabes. Ey, te vas del diablo rojo. ¿Te quieres bajar? ¿O te quieres subir de nuevo? Estamos activados. Toda esa gente que está activa en el Festival Afro-Latino de Nueva York. Estamos activados, ¿sí o no? Bendiciones, gracias por la oportunidad. Seguimos activados. Wicked, el puto West Coast. Una más ya. Wicked. Wicked, el puto West Coast.
Señoras y señores, mi nombre es Mai-Elka Prado, creadora del Festival Afro-Latino de Nueva York, y por primera vez estoy cantando para ti desde mi país, Panamá. Cada cual sabe su historia, con quien comienza, con quien termina. Todos tenemos memorias, amores, amores, amores y desdichas. Cada marea, cada marea, cada marea. Todo pasa, todo pasa. Sobrevive el que aguanta y el que lucha, aunque existo en la sombra, resisto en la memoria de una vida, de una vida. Cada marea, cada marea, cada marea. Bienvenidos al Festival Afro-Latino de Nueva York, directamente desde Panamá. Polito Stanley en la guitarra. Cada luna va menguando, los recuerdos amargos de una injusticia. Emerjo entre espuma, efímera la bruma de un nuevo día. Vamos. Cada marea va, cada marea va, cada marea va, cada marea. Oh, 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 cada marea, cada marea, cada marea, cada marea, cada marea, cada marea. Ay, yeah. Es mi total placer y agrado presentarles a un artista muy, muy especial. Su nombre es Jackie Plummer. Recuerden ese nombre, Jackie Plummer. Gracias.
Hola, yo soy Jackie Plummer y quería darles las gracias por invitarme a participar este año del Festival Afro-Latino de Nueva York. Esta canción que les voy a cantar primero se llama Instinto. Desperté un buen día ante tu triste realidad. Qué loco, qué extraño, que valga más lo que dicen los demás. ¿Cuál es la piel de mi llanto? La piel de tu miedo. No me dejaste otra opción más que aferrarme a mi voz y ser honesta a mí. Instinto no he de llamar tu atención. Te dejo a ti con tu error, punto y aparte, así lo has decidido. Ahora sé que el amar es una decisión. Qué loco, qué extraño, que valga más lo que dicen los demás. ¿Cuál es la piel de mi llanto? ¿Cuál es la piel de tu miedo? ¿Cómo complacerte aunque lo intento otra vez? Me miro en el espejo y solo veo lo que tú no quieres ver, lo que soy puedo ser. Da 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 da. Qué loco, qué extraño. Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias. Esta segunda canción se llama Ya ni más que decir. Espero que les guste. Cada vez que te hablo, en lo único que pienso es que te amo. Y esa es la verdad. Te mereces mi enojo, mas contigo no puedo. Eras todo para mí, pero igual se acabó. Me has hechizado, me has hechizado. No puedo sacarlo de mí, sacarte de mí. Aunque sé que me heriste, no puedo negar que te amé. Este amor tan absurdo este amor. Tanto orgullo, tanto miedo, tan sensato este amor. Tú allá y yo aquí. Como odio tenerte en mi mente. Ya no hay más que decir. Me has hechizado, me has hechizado. No puedo sacarlo de mí, sacarte de mí. Absurdo este orgullo, este miedo. Absurdo este tiempo, este amor. Sé que me dice y no puedo No puedo negar que te amé. Absurdo este orgullo, este miedo. Absurdo este tiempo, este amor. Sé que me heriste y no puedo negar que te amé. Me has hechizado, me has hechizado. No puedo sacarlo de mí, sacarte de mí. Muchas gracias. Muchísimas gracias.
En lugares remotos se mantiene viva una tradición que empezó con la visión de una monja en la Bélgica del siglo XIII.
Nosotros tenemos demonios de personas y eso es lo que se representa, dragones humanizados.
Los españoles cuando llegaron aquí a América usaron esa manera de dramatización de personas con máscaras en forma de diablos para catequizar a los indios. Esto es algo que ha pasado a través de distintas generaciones en varios siglos y después de casi 4 siglos y medio que todavía se conserven, no todos los pueblos se dan ese lujo.
Hemos podido lograr mantener nuestra danza de los diablos de espejo de Garachiné.
El diablo baila de muchas maneras, en cada rincón del mundo, y baila también dentro de cada uno de nosotros.
La gente tiene bien claro lo que significa el demonio, ¿verdad? Que significa el mal, la maldad.
Los tenemos en los cuadros que nos los ha representado la iglesia siempre y de ahí es donde se sacan esos demonios.
El mismo diablo se ha aparecido a medianoche en 4 caminos. Al mismo diablo yo le he vendido mi alma a cambio de este sonido.
El gran diablo de la villa, el diablico limpio de Chitré o los diablos espejos de Chorrera, estamos hablando de la misma danza.
Principalmente los lagartos, los felinos, es la inspiración que se escoge para la parte folclórica de la danza como motivos alegóricos.
El folclore tiene una característica que se llama plasticidad.
La castañuela tiene que llevar un compás con lo que es el zapateo y el sonido de la guitarra.
Vamos a descubrir nuestra luz, nuestra sombra y la profunda importancia de honrar ambos aspectos de lo que somos, en este baile continuo entre el bien y el mal.
Esto es un baile que uno disfruta lo que está haciendo, celebrando de que nos libramos del yugo, ¿no?
Y por eso es la importancia de conservar unas manifestaciones que han sobrevivido a varios siglos y que el pueblo las sigue respaldando.
Esta danza representa una parte de mí.
Y eso es lo que no queremos, que esta danza nunca se muera.
Esa tradición yo la llevo en la sangre desde niño. En el momento que yo me estoy disfrazando, yo siempre pienso es ser grande y dejar mi pueblo en grande.
Ven y descubre el baile por ti mismo. Acompáñanos en un viaje desde la raíz de la tradición al centro de tu propio corazón. Te invito a la danza con diablos.
Somos Petrona Martínez, la agrupación que ella lideró desde hace 30 años. Estamos felices de estar aquí en el Festival Afro-Latino de Nueva York. Estoy muy contenta de este legado que nos dejó mi mamá, Petrona Martínez, la reina del bullerengue. Estoy agradecida a aquellos que le aportaron al grupo de Petrona Martínez para que esto fuera un éxito.
Mi madre nos dejó el legado y lo tenemos enmuñecado. ¡Que viva Colombia! ¡Ahí viene el niño! ¡Ahí viene el niño! Con la niña pueca, con la niña pueca, está correteado, está correteado, con la niña pueca, pollo pa' la hueca, pollo pa' la hueca, con la niña pueca, con la niña pueca. Vamos para adelante, Susanita, que así es que se baila este baile, carajo.
Ay, la Petronita, ay, la Petronita, Santa Yetanera, Caño Palenquito, alegrar las penas, alegrar las penas, con su bullerengue, con su bullerengue, mujer arenera, reina bullerenguera, al son de un galón, compuso un roncón, linda Petrona, esta sobocoso, se metió entre pozos, se metió entre pozos, con la niña pueca, con la niña pueca, pollo pa' la hueca, pollo pa' la hueca, con la niña pueca, con la niña pueca. Ahí viene el niño, canta la Petrona, canta la Petrona, tierra cimarrona, tierra cimarrona, lo hace Parfolina, para Tomasita, para la Carmen Silva, para la Carmen Silva, para lograr las penas, Álvaro Llerena, tocaba el tambor, el niño roncón. Dulce,
Y eso va para Colombia y el Perú, la tierra de Petrona y de Susana Vaca.
Rito pues, vamos para allá.
Esta sobocoso, se metió entre pozos, se metió entre pozos, con la niña pueca, con la niña pueca, está vivao, está vivao, está correteado, con la niña pueca, con la niña pueca, con la niña pueca, con la niña pueca. Ahí viene el niño,
Ahí viene el niño,
ahí viene el niño,
paso pa'l chiquero,
pollo pa' la vuelta,
viene pa'l Perú,
se metió entre pozos,
se va pa' Colombia,
está sobocoso,
ahí viene el niño,
niña pueca,
paso pa'l chiquero,
está correteado,
viene correteado,
está vivao,
ay qué rico suena,
ahí viene el niño.
Dulce Petrona linda.
Mis respetos al bullerengue, mi respeto a la maestra Petrona Martínez es infinito. Y espero que se mejore, que mejore su salud.
Los cantares de Petrona cruzan Santos el Caribe, pasan aquí en Goza y vive el bullerengue, la matrona, su tona honda y burlona, topa con la enero lisa de la salve poetisa, de Petrona una hermana, con salve dominicana, tamborizan en la brisa.
Santa Rita tiene pelo, San Antonio está pelado. Santa Rita tiene pelo, San Antonio está pelado. Lo pelaron las mujeres por estar de enamorado. Lo pelaron las mujeres por estar de enamorado.
San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito.
San Antonio te manda a llamar. Lo que quiere Santa Rita que no lo dejen atrás.
San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito.
Vaya San Antonio y a ti yo te pido. Vaya San Antonio y a ti yo te pido. Te estoy llamando ya que estoy oído. Te estoy llamando ya que estoy oído.
San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito.
Ahí nada más San Antonio.
En noche de luna viche canta la ancestra sempiterna, por ser matrona y tierna, con llamado y tambor pechiche. Que su cantar encapriche y embruje la tierra el amba, con su supajé y caramba, con palo escaracolí, toná de calabarí y brebaje y butaramba.
Palenquito y Villamella, entre tambores y tamboras, cavilan magnas cantadoras, alegrando las querellas.
Que es la vida atroz y bella,
que las penas son alegres,
y te llaman pa' que integres
el bullerengue pa' bailar, pa' resistir, alegrar y contar de las ancestras sus quereres.
Arriba Santa Rita que te coge San Antonio, carajo. Santa Rita está buscando dónde están los vietorios. Santa Rita está buscando dónde están los vietorios. Con una tijera mocha pelaron a San Antonio. Con una tijera mocha pelaron a San Antonio.
San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito.
Vamos. Vaya San Antonio siempre me perdona. Vaya San Antonio siempre me perdona. Yo pido por mí, por doña Petrona. Yo pido por mí, por doña Petrona.
San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. San Antonio de Paula, santo bonito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito. Que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito.
San Antonio de Pauga,
Santo bonito.
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 que ni come ni bebe y siempre está gordito. Saludos a la gente de Nueva York de parte de Nerolisa Núñez, la reina de la salve de Villamella. Siento muy agradecida por estar junto con doña Petrona, una alegría y un buen amor que nos llevamos, nos quedemos, nos amamos y todo. Mucha bendición y que Dios nos bendiga. Con que se alegra mi pena,
Bullerengue pa' bailar,
con que disipo mi llanto.
bullerengue pa' bailar,
No hablo de la vida ajena
bullerengue pa' bailar,
y me alegro con mi canto.
bullerengue pa' bailar,
No hablo de la vida ajena
bullerengue pa' bailar,
y me alegro con mi canto.
bullerengue pa' bailar,
Yo no sé lo que me pasa
bullerengue pa' bailar,
ni lo que me está pasando.
bullerengue pa'
Y
bailar,
aunque traten de opacarme,
bullerengue pa' bailar,
pero yo sigo cantando.
bullerengue pa'
Y
bailar,
aunque traten de opacarme,
bullerengue pa' bailar,
pero yo sigo cantando.
bullerengue pa' bailar,
Ay, bullerengue,
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 pa' bailar,
ay, bullerengue.
pa' bailar,
Los cantares de Petrona
bullerengue pa' bailar,
usan santos del Caribe,
bullerengue pa' bailar,
a sonar quien goza y vive.
bullerengue pa' bailar,
Bullerengue la matrona,
bullerengue pa' bailar,
ay bullerengue,
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 pa' bailar,
ay bullerengue.
Esto es.
bailar,
Toma. Ay, oh.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene camino portador.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene camino portador.
Yo vine de mala gana, estoy aquí no sé por qué, cantándole a San Antonio en la puerta de Juan Baté.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene camino portador.
Soy de mesita cañate, la bonita sin peinar. Pa' mi cuerpo no hay azote, ni pa' mi cara cachetada.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene camino portador.
A mí me llaman la sucia, será porque yo no lavo, pero me llevo a decir que la concha aguanta el palo.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene camino portador.
Totolita en su nido, la persiguen los gusanos, como perseguirme a mí, la lengua de los cristianos.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene camino portador.
Me dijiste que era firme, como la palma en su centro. Si la palma fuera firme, no la tambaleara el viento.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene camino portador.
Pues tú jabalí, déjame pasar, que tengo a mi madre enferma y la tengo que curar.
Sí, 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 seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene camino portador.
Dale duro a este tambor, acábalo de romper. Si el dueño te preguntaré, dile que yo te mandé.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene camino portador.
¿Dónde estará la Martínez? Que la llamo y no responde. Es que se ha ido de esta tierra o se habrá cambiado el nombre.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor,
¡Vamos, Mercedita!
cangrejito tiene camino portador.
Cuando venga Ampolo, Ampolo me va a pegar, porque estaba de mi tía echándole una ayuda.
Sí, 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 sí seré mayor, que cangrejito tiene
All right. Well, good evening. Hope everyone is enjoying the
Good evening.
Festival 9th edition 2021. We are virtual. We just got done screening Miss Panama, and we are thrilled and delighted to have with us this evening the production team and protagonist of this important film, a film that was a long time in the making, and I'm personally super proud and super excited and happy to have seen this come to fruition. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Gloria Caramanides and Lamar Bailey.
Hi.
This evening.
Hello. So happy to be here in the Afro-Latino Fest.
Awesome. And also like to introduce David Sutcliffe and Pascal Bushwick, who are the producers, as well of this lovely
And
documentary. And
directors.
and directors. Yes, absolutely. So, folks, thank you so much for being here. Tell me a little bit about what prompted this film. I have some sense. This is a little bit of deja vu for us, but I have some sense. But tell the folks watching what brought about the story.
Wow. What brought about the story? So I guess I have to start from the beginning. Gloria is my mother. And so she was the first Black Miss Panama. And as you saw in the film, I've always known that she was the queen. And with that I am a princess. And so, my friends, Pascal and David, were also really talented filmmakers. We were in the beach and we were thinking and talking about, life and things and ideas and projects. And then, we realized that we had this wonderful story to tell. And also, I think that it worked out so perfect. We premiered just in June, just now, and May is it's in Panama, the Black ethnicity month, right? So I think that it worked out perfectly with timing. That moment it came out, and when it was time to promote it, because it was, we were talking about it and promoting it, some of it in May in Panama, and this, we think this is such a great story for the Panamanian audiences specifically, and for people where my mother's from. She's from a city called Colon. That it's basically a Black province, right? People say in Panama, to say you're from Colon, if you're anywhere and you say, "Oh, I'm from Colon," if you're on the phone, it means you're Black, right? So I think that there's a place like that. I think in a lot of Latin American countries, like there's Limón, that's like the Colon of Costa Rica. There's there's Bluefield, that's Las Esmeraldas. There's a place like that, always in the coast, in a lot of Latin American countries. So I think it's a nice, relatable, amazing, and transformative film. And I'm so happy to be able to tell the story about my mother with David and Pascal, who are amazing and talented and geniuses. And my mother is a queen. And I think that I definitely went off topic, but sorry.
No.
I do this all the time.
It's great. Gloria, what tell me a little bit about your first thoughts, your initial thoughts when Amara approached you about this idea to do this film.
Well, if you know Lamar always filming something, especially for birthdays, and I really didn't take it that serious. Honestly, I just went along because Lamar wanted me to do it. So I went and said, "Okay, what else I have to do? I do it." But I was a little anxious because I was like, "When you guys gonna finish editing? I need to see what came out." And actually, when I saw it, I was really impressed. Impressed because it's It's a complete documentary with music. It's live music, vivid music. So I didn't think much of it in the beginning, but as we went, talking about it, I got excited about it, and I'm very happy with the film.
Awesome. Dave and Pascal, question for you. So what was it like bringing the visual elements of this story? I mean, the story itself is kind of depicts, the representation or the lack thereof. So what was it like bringing to life this visual depiction of this whole storyline?
Well, I have a couple thoughts, but I guess first I just want to say thanks so much for showing the film at your festival. Before we even finished editing it, before we submit to any festivals, we were like, we just want the Afro-Latino Festival because we love you all, and like the audience that you built for, Afro-Latino content, I think really helped inspire an audience for our film. And so it's just amazing to be part of this. It's really an honor. In terms of visuals and representation, I guess a good friend of mine who studies Black photography saw an early cut of the film, and she pointed out something which I didn't even realize was such a strength in our film, and it's really how I've come to define it, which is that, when we were deciding to do this film about Gloria's story, it happened in the past, so we didn't have access to, so much like kind of verite footage of her going through it at the moment. We found some archival materials, but realizing that we were really able to make this film because Gloria had all of these photos and all of these newspaper clippings and family photos and things that really helped bring the past and make it alive. And she pointed out that for, wherever we are, Black history often isn't represented in textbooks or in film or whatever. And actually Black family photographs are in many ways the archive of Black history. So I think that our film, the strength of it is that it really shows that, that we have access to all these family materials really helped bring it alive. And I thought illustrated that point really well. So that made me really proud, actually, of our ability to incorporate that and really kind of frame that around the telling of her story.
Absolutely. The archival element of it all. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, that just, I guess I've made a few films before that were mostly verite based, just kind of following people around. And this film really incorporated so many different elements. Like already said, the music is a really incredible, really central part of that. And Mai-Elka, Prado, the brilliant musician and co-founder of the Afro-Latino Festival, she really made that happen along with her partner, Manuel Garcia Orozco from Chaco World Music. So like those collaborators, our cinematographer, Rashid Zakat, another really critical collaborator. And yeah, the archivists, the museum, I'm forgetting Afro-Antillean Museum in Panama. They were a really incredible source, and we wouldn't have this film without those people who kind of keep those records. Professor Espino, Ronaldo Espino, he provided a lot of the materials from the beauty pageants, from former Miss Panama contests. So all of these folks, it's thanks to their efforts and their kind of like individual expertise that helped kind of pull together, this mosaic of images and sound that helped tell the story.
Yeah, it's really public history, I think.
And also, what was the name of the organization in Panama that we sourced a lot of the rebel commercials from?
Panama Vieja Escuela.
Panama Vieja Escuela. They are also really
yes.
Yeah, they have really great photos of Colón and Panama City in the 70s. I mean, even way before that, but those were really helpful also.
Okay. That's interesting. The importance of archival preservation, just on a formal, but on a formal and informal level, like just the family photo, oral history, because this essentially was an oral history that was in the community, like everybody knew this story, right? This was the story that everybody knew, like, okay. And so you guys kind of were able to capture that, what was, legend, so to speak, and put it on film, and I don't know how often that happens, but I'm appreciative of it.
Yeah, he had this great idea when we were shooting in Cologne City, and he was like, wouldn't it be like maybe we could just sort of go around and ask people, you know, where were you when Gloria won? And we were able to capture that exact thing because people, they remembered, they're like, oh my gosh, everyone was tuned in, we were watching it, and you know, everyone remembered and was able to tell that story. And I think, you know,
it was a moment in time.
The film got to see some of that, you know, live from the streets.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite moments in the filming of the movie was going around Cologne and asking people about if they remember when my mother won. And I was talking about this with someone, but it felt a lot like, you know, when your team wins, like your soccer team, it wins, and you always remember like where you were and what you were wearing and what happened next and what you did the next day and what you said and what she said, and then, you know, it was that like that, right?
Right.
And that my mom's friend Nadia, I was telling the story too. She was like, you go watch it with yourself, you know. She knew exactly where she was, who she, like what she told to her mom, to the neighbor. Like it was just, you know, it's nice to see how people like came to life telling the story too.
Yeah. No, definitely. Gloria, what was it like kind of preparing for the run up to the debut or the premiere? Were you nervous? Were you excited?
Oh well, you know, I have some great daughters, and so my daughter Lana, she chose the dress, the pink dress, because that's her favorite color. And then I decided that I would wear a ponytail, and that day I wanted to look like a diva, and I did. But yes, there was a lot of preparation for the premiere. I was very excited. I got there late, of course, you know, but it came out
fashionably, right.
But it came out so great. I felt extremely good, you know, and the reaction of the film was great too. It's not the same thing to watch the film like I watched it in the computer, but in the big screen, it makes a whole difference. It makes a whole difference because I was the spectator, and I realized in that moment that I was carrying all this burden because there were so many things in the documentary that happened to me that I lived with it for 40 years, and many people that see me in a daily basis don't even realize and know that, for instance, I was called that I was going to be cucaracha en baile de gallina, that someone said over my dead body she's going to become Miss Panama, and so on and so forth. Yes, everything that was said in the film is a truth. However, the truth is being said, and it's said in a beautiful way. And I'm very, very happy that we have the opportunity to do this, to show my story, to talk about it, because things like this have to be said, not only because it's my story, but because we are a time and a momentum in life that oppressed people cannot shut down shut down their mouths. No, they should express all the things that make them feel oppressed.
Yeah, well, that kind of gets us into you know, something that I wanted to broach a little bit about. Right, we're talking about this film. This film it made its debut at Tribeca. It's a big, one of the biggest films in the world, and it also it opens simultaneously with another film at Tribeca, which was In the Heights. And there was a lot of conversation and discussion with regards to the representation or lack thereof that was in the Heights. And one of the reasons why I think I think this film and is so important Miss Panama song is because, you know, this is one of those where it's an opportunity for us to tell our own story, and we see the beauty of what happens when we are able to do that, you know,
Right.
versus folks, you know, coming up with these kind of mythical frameworks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's like, yeah, that's one of the things about this film, right? I mean, that's also the question. We started with the question is who gets to represent a nation, right? And then we, you know, sort of built from that question on. And yeah, with this whole conversation about In the Heights and also representation and who gets to do what. Like I said, I think it's you know, it's perfect timing because one of the things that I love about this film is that I think we should tell our own stories, right? And tell it in our own way, whatever the way that is, like good, bad, whatever, like halfway, it doesn't matter. It's our business, right? How we want to tell our stories and whether the ways that we want to do that. So I think, yeah, one of the I guess the issues within the Heights is that I guess sometimes when you are from the outside and trying to envision how something or someone else or another group is living, you don't sometimes do a good job at, you know, representing really what happens and how that looks like. So
Clueless. Yeah. So one of the things that I noticed in the film was that, like you said, you were able to kind of capture the feeling of the kind of the friends and family who experienced it with you guys. Have you had an opportunity to really ask them, you know, now, like, what do they feel about that time, and do they feel like there's been progress made? You know, the issue, one of the core issues around what happened, right, was race, right? Has there been progress where they are? Where if they're in Panama, has there been progress? Has there been progress in the United States if they're in the United States? And then what do you guys think about that from just a perspective? I mean, this is an opportunity that we've had that we may not have had in the past, right? This is the creation of this kind of body of work, but in general.
I think that it is rude to say that there hasn't been any progress. I think that's not worded in the right way because there are a lot of people that have worked for so many years in the, you know, in the Black movement across the globe, but in the Afro-Panamanian movement, there, you know, I can name a bunch of people who have been in the movement, you know, since the 80s, doing things. So I'm never gonna say, I've heard that, and I see what the point is of saying nothing has changed, but I'm not gonna say that because I feel like that's sort of stepping over people's legacy. So I'm not gonna say that. However, you know, I'm not very involved in the beauty world, but I am, you know, I'm aware of things, and also like my mom is a beauty queen and my aunt is a beauty queen, and you know, we in the making of this documentary also interviewed another beauty queen that at the end, you know, whatever, it's not in the documentary, but we know that not enough progress has been made, and we know that, you know, Panama is racist in a bunch of ways, and we know that, you know, Panama needs to have this conversation about racism and move beyond the conversation, because also, like, the people that I'm telling you about that have been, you know, doing things in the Afro-Panamanian movement, events and things, and publishing books and doing all sorts of things on TV and behind the scenes and going to communities. They've not been, you know, having this conversation. But I think that one of the, you know, documentaries and this whole, you know, mundo audiovisual, right? It's a, you know, it's a way to do and to continue the work that has been going on in the movement, right? So, you know, in a way, this documentary we hope that, that is part of the Afro-Panamanian movement, and that is used by the Afro-Panamanian movement, not only to talk about these things, but also to make some changes, right? To go beyond conversations about things and move into actions and policies and plans and changes, right? And I don't know if I answered your question. Has there been improvement? Well, we know for a fact that not enough change has been made. And it's really not about like who owns the Miss Panama, or it's not even about Miss Panama, but it's rather about the powers, right? It's representation. It's in a way because not only Panama, but we live in a racist, anti-Black world, and I think the Miss Panama goes to show like a bigger issue, right? In the documentary, we talked about that. It was like, and how did we get here? Right, and then we start talking about the U.S. and like what that meant for Panama, but that's like one thing and one part, and we by no means are trying to, say that is the only thing, right? Panama is racist on its own. Like, it doesn't need the U.S. to be racist, right? We have 30 minutes and we didn't get to talk about everything, but we, with the documentary, are hoping that people will be like, oh, what's this conversation about, and really start researching and start looking up everything that has happened, and the Constitution of 1941 and all these things that happened that has led us to where we are, to the Miss Panama and women still going through racist situations and anti-Black discrimination in Miss Panama and everywhere possible, right? And everything that has to do with representation, or everything. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna stick by it. And but also in education, right? Also in in working at the bank, also in
public accommodations. Yeah, no, it's in every aspect.
I want to say that I feel like I'm going on and on like I do, but I just want to say, people have been working for so many years, and the Afro-Panamanian movement is a strong movement that, that goes back, in my opinion, to the cimarronaje. How do you say cimarronaje?
Maroons.
To the Maroons, right? And people who have been resistant in our territory for so long, and we carry on their legacy. But there's a lot of things that need to be done because we're fighting big powers, right? And also, so I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, no, definitely. I hope that folks see this, and see this as an opportunity to learn, the experiences of other communities, other diaspora communities, and I'm sure that there are similar experiences that can be discussed and talked about in other communities that are relatable. So I want to thank you guys. But before we go, I want to ask you two things. One, what are you guys' future plans with respect to this film? But also, are there any other projects that you're working on at the moment?
What's on the cards for you? I'm gonna let Pascal. I feel like I've talked so much, and Pascal David didn't say anything.
It's okay. Well, our plans for the film are just to have people keep seeing it. I think on this line of kind of progress, I think that there. I think what we tried to show in our film is that, the issue isn't race, it's racism. And obviously racism hasn't gone away. Racism hasn't, we're not seeing it on the decline. I mean, I won't get into a political conversation, but I think that we have more and more platforms, right? So I think we have, places where our films get into and maybe get, and then we have, festivals like yours. And I think that that's, I think where there's progress is our ability to continue supporting each other's work that is like about our Black history, that is about the movement, things that haven't historically gotten a platform. So I think that's, that's very exciting. So I think the more people that see this film, the better. I think we have dreams of showing it in person in Cologne at some point, when things are more safe to be able to do that, because it's a pandemic. But yeah, I think, but actually having the film online for these festivals digitally has also been a really great opportunity to enable people out of the country in Latin America, and especially in Panama, to be able to see it. So.
Absolutely. Definitely.
It will eventually be available on Topic.com. Topic is the company that supported the production of the film, so we have to kind of thank them for their support.
Yeah.
And yeah, we want the film to be broadcast, possibly on public television, in the U.S., and maybe if we can find some international broadcasters, it'd be great to have it be broadcast in Panama. And yeah, one of our festivals, and then people can follow us on Instagram, this Panama Film, to kind of stay aware of what's happening with the film, where other folks can see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This Panama Film.
And I also just want to say, since we're wrapping up, so many thank yous to you, Gloria, for sharing your time with us and helping us to tell the story as best as we could. And I hope we did a good job, but it's really an incredible story. You're an incredible person, and it's just been like the honor of a lifetime to get to work on this. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, I have one more question. So Gloria, we were fortunate enough to honor you in 2017 with an award, and part of that was because of your work. This film is a snapshot of the amount of work that you've done in the community, right? And I wanted to ask you, as we close, because you've been doing this work, you have a kind of revolutionary vision. What do you see for the future as far as everything that's going on?
In terms of what?
Well, in terms of, I mean, this conversation that has been had about Afro-Latino within the United States, the lack of progress and the progress that has been made, whether it's in Panama, Colombia, in the region in general. It seems to me like there's a bit more awareness now from the folks who have not been doing this, good or bad. But I just wanted to get your thoughts. I always say that history is cyclical, and I guess I'm curious as to, do you see anything on the horizon that we need to watch out for?
Well, I would say that, well, if you allow me, I have to say this in Spanish because my Spanish como okay. Well, I'm sorry, Pascal.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Basically, yo quiero decir que sí, dentro de la comunidad afro y la afro-latina, hay que destacar que ha habido mucho progreso. Una de las cosas que podemos destacar aquí en los Estados Unidos, que en este año han habido muchos más negros y más latinos en representaciones públicas. ¿Qué quiere decir eso? Que la población americana está llenándose de latinos, porque los latinos son growing parts, ya seas que seas afro-latino o no, pero estamos creciendo en la sociedad americana. Quiere decir que vamos a llegar a tener muchas más representaciones. Y las estadísticas dicen que es posible que veamos un presidente de background latino en los Estados Unidos. Pero ¿cómo se configura para nosotros los negros y los brown skin? Esto se configura en la medida en que nosotros cojamos conciencia, pero nosotros tenemos los medios de comunicaciones que ya han venido acercando la distancia. Yo sé lo que pasa en Nigeria, yo sé lo que pasa en Haití, yo sé lo que pasa en Panamá, porque los medios de comunicación, las redes sociales nos acercan. Entonces hay que utilizar lo que tenemos para seguir creciendo. Ahora bien, tú me estás preguntando qué puede pasar. Nosotros estamos saliendo de una pandemia y la pandemia ha sido favorable para muchos, ¿Por qué no has puesto en el espectrum de las posibilidades? Por ejemplo, lo que le pasó a Floyd, todos lo presenciamos, ¿saben por qué? Porque estábamos en casa en el medio de COVID. Otherwise, no hubiera tenido la potencia que tuvo en estos días, ¿verdad? Entonces, ¿qué quiere decir eso? Lo que le pasó a Floyd, lo que está sufriendo su familia, va a traer cambios a los Estados Unidos, porque nosotros nunca hemos visto que iban a condenar a un policía. O sea, ok, está bien, lo condenaron a 22 años y queríamos más, pero ese es un avance y es para decir, ok, él lo vamos a usar de ejemplo, porque el ejemplo de él, que fue astroso, lo presenciamos, va a servir para que por lo menos nosotros somos perseguidos por la policía. Yo tengo más tiquetes que de los que nunca he pensado, pero ¿por qué? Porque you get profiling, ¿no? Cuando yo conduzco un camión, me preguntan qué hace una mujer conduciendo un camión, una mujer negra, ¿qué tú estás haciendo? O sea, me paran porque piensan que estoy planeando un robo o algo similar. Lo que quiero decir es que sí hay una buena perspectiva. Y la perspectiva es sencillamente una frase que está en la Biblia, que es: por falta de conocimiento perece mi pueblo. Nosotros tenemos que educarnos y autoeducarnos, ya sea por los medios de comunicación, a través de leer, a través de la lectura o a través de lo que estamos viendo con las redes sociales. Sí, yo veo una perspectiva grande. Yo pienso que nosotros los negros y los latinos vamos a hacer un crecimiento grande en los próximos años porque somos innovadores y porque somos creativos.
All right.
It's okay. Well, our plans for the film are just to have people keep seeing it. You know, I think on this line of kind of progress, I think that there, I think what we tried to show in our film is that, the issue isn't race, it's racism. And obviously racism hasn't gone away. Racism hasn't, we're not seeing it on the decline. I mean, I won't get into a political conversation, but I think that we have more and more platforms, right? So I think we have, places where our films get into and maybe get, and then we have, festivals like yours. And I think that that's, I think where there's progress is our ability to continue supporting each other's work that is like about our Black history, that is about the movement, things that haven't historically gotten a platform. So I think that's, that's very exciting. So I think the more people that see this film, the better. I think we have dreams of showing it in person in Cologne at some point when things are more safe to be able to do that because it's a pandemic. But yeah, I think, but actually having the film online for these festivals digitally has also been a really great opportunity to enable people out of the country in Latin America, and especially in Panama, to be able to see it. So.
Absolutely. Definitely.
It will eventually be available on Topic.com. Topic is the company that supported the production of the film, so we have to kind of thank them for their support.
Yeah.
And yeah, we want the film to be broadcast, possibly on public television, in the U.S., and maybe if we can find some international broadcasters, it'd be great to have it be broadcast in Panama. And yeah, those are one of our festivals, and then people can follow us on Instagram, Panama Film, to kind of stay aware of what's happening with the film, where other folks can see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Miss Panama film.
And I also just want to say, since we're wrapping up, so many thank yous to you, Gloria, for sharing your time with us and helping us to tell the story as best as we could. And I hope we did a good job, but it's really an incredible story. You're an incredible person, and it's just been like the honor of a lifetime to get to work on this. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, I have one more question. So Gloria, we were fortunate enough to honor you in 2017 with an award, and part of that was because of your work on this. This film is a snapshot of the amount of work that you've done in the community, right? And I wanted to ask you, as we close, because you've been doing this work, you have a kind of revolutionary vision. What do you see for the future as far as everything that's going on?
In terms of what?
In terms of, I mean, this conversation that has been had about Afro-Latino within the United States, the lack of progress and the progress that has been made, whether it's in Panama, Colombia, in the region in general. It seems to me like there's a bit more awareness now from the folks who have not been doing this, good or bad. But I just wanted to get your thoughts. I always say that history is cyclical, and I'm curious as to, do you see anything on the horizon that we need to watch out for?
Well, I would say that, well, if you allow me, I have to say this in Spanish because my Spanish come on. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Pascal.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Basically, yo quiero decir que sí, dentro de la comunidad afro y la afro-latina, hay que destacar que ha habido mucho progreso. Una de las cosas que podemos destacar aquí en los Estados Unidos, que en este año han habido muchos más negros y más latinos en representaciones públicas. ¿Qué quiere decir eso? Que la población americana está llenándose de latinos, porque los latinos son growing parts, ya seas que seas afro-latino o no, pero estamos creciendo en la sociedad americana. Quiere decir que vamos a llegar a tener muchas más representaciones. Y las estadísticas dicen que es posible que veamos un presidente de background latino en los Estados Unidos. Pero ¿cómo se configura para nosotros los negros y los brown skin? Esto se configura en la medida en que nosotros cojamos conciencia, pero nosotros tenemos los medios de comunicaciones que ya han venido acercando la distancia. Yo sé lo que pasa en Nigeria, yo sé lo que pasa en Haití, yo sé lo que pasa en Panamá, porque los medios de comunicación, las redes sociales nos acercan. Entonces hay que utilizar lo que tenemos para seguir creciendo. Ahora bien, tú me estás preguntando qué puede pasar. Nosotros estamos saliendo de una pandemia y la pandemia ha sido favorable para muchos porque nos has puesto en el espectro de las posibilidades. Por ejemplo, lo que le pasó a Floyd, todo lo presenciamos. ¿Saben por qué? Porque estábamos en casa en el medio de COVID. Otherwise, no hubiera tenido la potencia que tuvo en estos días, ¿verdad? Entonces, ¿qué quiere decir eso? Lo que le pasó a Floyd, lo que está sufriendo su familia, va a traer cambios a los Estados Unidos, porque nosotros nunca hemos visto que iban a condenar a un policía. O sea, ok, está bien, lo condenaron a 22 años y queríamos más, pero ese es un avance y es para decir, ok, él lo vamos a usar de ejemplo, porque el ejemplo de él, que fue astroso, lo presenciamos, va a servir para que por lo menos nosotros somos perseguidos por la policía. Yo tengo más tiquetes de los que nunca he pensado, pero ¿por qué? Porque you get profiling, ¿no? Cuando yo conduzco un camión, me preguntan qué hace una mujer conduciendo un camión, una mujer negra, ¿qué tú estás haciendo? O sea, me paran porque piensan que estoy planeando un robo o algo similar. Lo que quiero decir es que sí hay una buena perspectiva. Y la perspectiva es sencillamente una frase que está en la Biblia, que es por falta de conocimiento perece mi pueblo. Nosotros tenemos que educarnos y autoeducarnos, ya sea por los medios de comunicación, a través de leer, a través de la lectura o a través de lo que estamos viendo con las redes sociales. Sí, yo veo una perspectiva grande. Yo pienso que nosotros los negros y los latinos vamos a hacer un crecimiento grande en los próximos años porque somos innovadores y porque somos creativos.
Okay. Muchísimas gracias. Dave and Pascal, would you have any final thoughts as we close out? I want to thank everyone. This was great. I always love talking to you guys. Like I said, this feels like deja vu. This feels like a day. So thank you guys so much. Any final thoughts?
Just thank you to the Festival Afro-Latino. We're so honored and happy to be here. And
regards to Mai-Elka, Prince.
We love Mai-Elka. She made the music. And hi to all our friends who are seeing us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Thank you.
David. I love David too. I love more.
We love you so much.
I'm sorry.
Can't wait to celebrate in person.
Yes.
Together.
Cada cual sabe su historia, con quien comienza, con quien termina. Todos tenemos memorias, amores, amores, amores y desdicha. Cada marea, cada marea, cada marea. Todo pasa, sobrevive el que aguanta y el que lucha, aunque existo en la sombra, resisto en la memoria de una vida, de una vida. Cada luna va menguando, los recuerdos amargos de una injusticia. Emerjo entre espuma, efímera la bruma de un nuevo día. Cada marea, cada marea.
En lugares remotos se mantiene viva una tradición que empezó con la visión de una monja en la Bélgica del siglo XIII.
Nosotros tenemos demonios de personas y eso es lo que se representa, dragones humanizados.
Los españoles cuando llegaron aquí a América usaron esa manera de dramatización de personas con máscaras en forma de diablos para catequizar a los indios.
Esto es algo que ha pasado a través de distintas generaciones en varios siglos y después de casi 4 siglos y medio que todavía se conserven, no todos los pueblos se dan ese lujo.
Hemos podido lograr mantener nuestra danza de los diablos de espejo de Garachiné.
El diablo baila de muchas maneras, en cada rincón del mundo, y baila también dentro de cada uno de nosotros.
La gente tiene bien claro lo que significa el demonio, ¿verdad? Que significa el mal, la maldad.
Los tenemos en los cuadros que nos los ha representado a la iglesia siempre y de ahí es donde se sacan esos demonios.
El gran diablo de la villa, el diablico limpio de Chitré o los diablos espejos de Chorrera, estamos hablando de la misma danza.
Principalmente los lagartos, los felinos, es la inspiración que se escoge para la parte folclórica de la danza como motivos alegóricos.
El folclore tiene una característica que se llama plasticidad.
La castañuela tiene que llevar un compás con lo que es el zapateo y el sonido de la guitarra.
Vamos a descubrir nuestra luz, nuestra sombra y la profunda importancia de honrar ambos aspectos de lo que somos, en este baile continuo entre el bien y el mal.
Esto es un baile que uno disfruta lo que está haciendo, celebrando de que nos libramos del yugo, ¿no?
Y por eso es la importancia de conservar unas manifestaciones que han sobrevivido a varios siglos y que el pueblo las sigue respaldando.
Esta danza representa una parte de mí.
Y eso es lo que no queremos, que esta danza nunca se muera.
Esa tradición yo la llevo en la sangre desde niño. En el momento que yo me estoy disfrazando, yo siempre pienso es ser grande y dejar mi pueblo en grande.
Ven y descubre el baile por ti mismo. Acompáñanos en un viaje desde la raíz de la tradición al centro de tu propio corazón. Te invito a la danza con Diablos.